Welcome to Beyond Injury Time. Um, so today, this is going to be a review of the matches, some of the exciting matches that we basically chose to be exciting in Game Week 1. And to be very honest with all of you that is watching us, they did not disappoint us. All the three
Yeah.
games. Yeah, the first one we are going to pick is the Newcastle versus Villa one. I guess Abhay from our side during our preview had anticipated a good tactical battle. So what do you have to say about that
Firstly,
game?
it was an amazing goal fest. I was so
Yeah,
happy about it.
Nice.
And a huge difference was also made when Mings got his ACL done, right? The
yeah,
defender
sad,
of
really sad.
Aston Villa. Hopefully he gets well. I do
It was
not rate.
Mm.
very beginning of the match, right?
Yeah. I do not
Ah.
rate him like that, but still he's got that leadership quality that
Yeah.
Aston Villa
Mm.
require. Now, speaking of which, kudos to Diaby. He's got pace. He can finish from Aston Villa. Really nice. I think he was the best player on the pitch for Aston Villa, and it was nice to. It was. I know Aston Villa lost, but if you watch the match, you realize that they have a really good pivot of Boubacar Kamara and Douglas Lewis that make really amazing passes.
Yeah.
But the star of the match was Isak, my man. Okay,
Nailed it.
this sounds a little far-fetched, but in the modern game, I think he's the closest to what Thierry Henry was in his time.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Are you
you
seriously going to
you
do
watch him
that?
play, you'll realize.
That's a
I
I
big
have watched him,
statement,
but
dude. Big
yeah.
statement.
I know. I looked at him and I'm like,
भाई
what?
fan हो गया.
Yeah, because he is that good. He's technical, he's fast, and he's got vision.
Are Arsenal going to sign him next season?
I was going to ask the same
oh
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I think that's why he's like. I thought Gabriel Jesus is the best player in Premier League. I thought
No.
so, but okay.
No, the
now,
ship has sailed. The ship has sailed, sadly.
okay.
Right?
Maybe
But,
Saka.
what?
Maybe Saka.
No, it's a different profile. He's
Yeah.
coming from
Yeah.
the
But
right
best
right
player,
side is the best player. Yeah, so right side of the
Also,
field, Saka is good.
Also, it was nice to see Tonali actually fitting in, and he was making great runs. Great runs.
He
And
he also had a beautiful chance. Like he scored one. He scored one and he missed one.
yeah, he
So I
missed
was
one, but
really
Yeah.
looking forward to Tonali, and
Yeah,
and you know this game was a really like bumper prize for all FPL fans. Like I had 3 Newcastle players in my team, and sadly the player who scored most points was on the bench. So I think there are many people who had Newcastle players in our group of FPL league as well. So that was a really amazing game for FPL fans, and also looking from the Aston Villa perspective, they also played a good match. I mean, half of the match, I would say, because till the time Mings was there, they were really putting in balls and crosses and passes, everything. But once after that, their morale was down, and in the second half, they were a no-show. Newcastle
it was a
absolutely.
no-show.
Yeah.
It was a no-show, and also if you look at the shots on target, it's almost Newcastle had double the shots on target, right? The possession was like 55-45 something, which is still all right. But if you see the shots on target, it was really good on Newcastle side. It was also interesting to watch that Eddie Howe changed the way he played. As in, before he used to keep the brakes on and whatnot. It seems this season he's coming for the kill because firstly, kudos to Newcastle with their front three, which was amazing. Miguel Almiron continuing with his form from the previous season. Isak, like already said, like I'm so mad we didn't get him.
The thing with Isak is he's very injury prone actually. That is the only thing that he has got to overcome.
True, but he's a tall striker as well, and so tall and so technical and so fast. Like, and he still has got.
That's good actually. That's a good set of
He
skills.
still has time to grow into his body as well. And last season, I remember everybody was, saying Newcastle that you've been ripped off. Everton have ripped you off for Anthony Gordon. He also looked quite a decent player. But and the midfield, I know at the time when we were making predictions that Newcastle has got Europe and whatnot, but the way Newcastle are playing, bro, I kid you not. And looking just at game week,
They're
it seems that they're primed for UCL football for years to come.
they're actually playing very beautifully. Like the transition play that they had, and they just made fun out of Aston Villa. I also feel that maybe Villa was more like they wanted to be hit on the counter attacks, but probably because early on they got the goals, they made it difficult for them to actually bounce back.
Also, another important thing to note was if you have watched Newcastle's midfield, my God,
Yeah.
Tonali, Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and they were not even playing Joe Willock, right?
Yeah.
All three different in the starting lineup. All three are different profiles. Tonali, for someone who was playing so much behind in AC Milan, he seems to have an engine to play box to box. Guimaraes has got amazing passing ability, and Joe Linton just seems to always have been a midfielder and not a forward.
Yeah.
But
He uses his body so well to protect the ball, man. I mean, amazing. He's like that muscle in that midfield
yeah, exactly.
three.
He's like that muscle, and he's so nimble with his feet for such a huge guy. It's nice to
He's
watch. though.
Brazilian, man, if I'm not wrong.
But man, Tonali,
He's a
Tonali
true
was
Brazilian.
welcomed in. Tonali was welcomed in St. James Park, man.
Oh man, I mean, I
Properly.
guess you guys must have seen the Twitter post by Newcastle. I mean, amazing. That was
Yeah.
proper banter, bro. So I just had to mention one important thing is that like Ro can play box to box because he opened the goal scoring. I mean, what a debut for him, right? But the other thing is that we should not be passing judgments as to what Newcastle could or can't do this season or in the UCL, because I feel no matter how well the build up to this game was, Villa lost the defender so early, which was in the form of Tyron Mings, and they totally lost the shape because he is their lead, no matter his
Correct.
abilities. He is the leader at the back, and they totally lost shape and control. And if you notice, even in the first half and the second half as well, they did not recover in terms of counter pressing. They did not win the ball. So every time they lost the ball, Newcastle were basically so efficient in the transition that
Correct.
they always, almost every time, while I was watching the second half, they always found either Harvey Barnes or Isak, and that led to a shot or a goal.
Yeah.
So we should not get carried away. You know, there are going to be tough games.
But yeah,
for
I
them.
think the point here is that he can play that role. There was a confusion in the start of it that Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali who can play which role, but seems like both are
Both are
versatile
comfortable.
enough to
Yes,
fit in
definitely.
any of the roles.
Yeah,
and we need to talk about Harvey Barnes also because he
Ah,
seemed
yeah.
to fit in like a glove.
Right.
Like so proper and causing problems and scoring goals. I mean, I think he's an opportunity missed for a lot of teams. Lastly, I would like to point out upon the fact that looking at this result, if I'm Newcastle, I'm thinking I should be strengthening more because if I strengthen more, there is the chances of making the UCL next year increase
Correct.
massively.
Tremendously.
Now
If
that
they play this way, man, then everyone should be afraid of them.
Yeah, they're going to be a problem, and one of these days they're going to beat a big club with a basketball scoreline, and
Yeah.
that's when people will probably take more notice of it. Now, coming to the end of it, as an Arsenal fan, I'm really interested to know what happened with the bitter rivals and whatnot at Brentford. I know that you didn't win, of course.
Yeah.
Right, over to you.
That's the best part.
Thanks for the introduction, Mr. Gunnar.
Gunnar.
Gunnar. Firing some bullets on. But yeah, I believe this draw seems more like a win in few terms.
Typical Spurs attitude.
See, you have to be optimistic.
मैच तो नहीं जीते, दिल जीत लिए. Very good.
भाई देखो ऑप्टिमिज्म ही तो एक चीज है जो रखनी पड़ेगी.
Yes, होना चाहिए भाई, होना चाहिए. Yes.
वरना तो अभी तक मैं ये पॉडकास्ट छोड़ दिया होता. So I think the positives of this match was that finally we brought a young team to the match, right? This was like from past 3 years, like after Pochettino's era, this is the youngest team that we ever put on pitch. There were 4 debutants in a single match, and I believe all of them did good. Like Vicario had some
Fumbles.
fumbles, you want to say, had some nervy moments, but at the end it did not end up in goal, so good for him.
It was a really good performance. I also agree with that because Brentford really, I mean, at their
And
home, they're always kings.
It's very
They
difficult.
take the game to you and they push you hard. They could have almost scored 3 goals in the first half itself.
It's a very
But-
toxic environment to play in Brentford, right?
Okay.
So
And
But
for
you-
any club, if one of their best players, exits, so there is also a shock, which like there is a shock in the club. So after Harry Kane's news, so they were also mentally ready. So I could see Spurs players really
See,
mentally tough this time.
No,
Like,
but I
even
have
though-
a very different viewpoint. I'm also thinking on the terms that Brentford don't have Ivan Toney, right? So I
that
mean,
is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they did not have their number 9, and we did not have our
yeah,
right. So, but the point is
But the
that
tension
see,
behind it, the tension
there,
always, like Harry Kane,
there is,
will he stay, will he go?
there is one.
I want to hear more from Amit actually. He wants to complete his thought about the way. So yeah, let him speak, I guess.
I think there is what else?
Okay,
So
don't
at
let
the
him
end-
speak.
Yeah.
At the end, I think I know people will say that it's like Spurs will win against Brentford, but before the start of the game, I think the odds were more in favor of Brentford. They had a well-defined system to play with, a well-defined coach. Tony, I think, is missing from a long time as well. And Brentford in home, since they come in PL, they have won their first match against, I think, United and Arsenal. So, like, I think 4-0 to United is what I remember. But yeah, so basically, it's very toxic environment to play in at Brentford.
अब तूने छेड़ दिया भाई.
And
अब नहीं तू बोलेगा.
so the point is that
अपना
the
पाछा
favorites
बजाने
were
के लिए सबका
Brentford.
पाछा दिखाओगे बे.
हो गया.
Favorites were Brentford. Yeah. So favorites were Brentford before this match, but the players went very well. I think the match was quite even. I think scoreline does justify what we have seen. The possession was with Spurs, but on counter, Brentford were looking very lethal. Right.
Okay.
Whenever they get the ball, they used to run like anything.
I know I'm an Arsenal fan and whatnot, but I would say this for sure that on the balance of play, I think Spurs should have won, right? Just the way they played, and I think Brentford would count themselves
बस तूने
lucky
यही बोल दिया वो खुश हो गया. कोई
that-
दिक्कत नहीं.
ठीक है
Life
ना,
is good.
Life
पहले
is good.
पहले चढ़ा के फिर गिराना रहता है ना. And also I did like the player that you're
Udogie.
talking about, Udogie.
Yeah.
What a steal for 15 million. What a steal. But I
Right.
still hope that you people mess up as you always do. Just to that.
Not pulling off us Spurs, I guess. And not of Arsenal's last year as well. So yeah, we should not slip. But yeah, I think Udogie, all the youngsters like Madison is like he played
He's not a
very well,
youngster,
man.
bro. He's not a youngster no more.
It was two different thoughts, that youngsters and Madison. So Madison fit in very well. He got 2 assists in first of the match, and in our debut he got a captain's armband as well in the
Wow.
later stages of the game.
किसी को भी दे देते हो ना.
No, not necessarily. So it's like they.
अभी
Ange
कोई
has
बचा
made-
नहीं है तो फिर देना ही पड़ेगा ना. वो कहते हैं
English
ना,
player
By the
है.
way, I
दो के
love
बीच
the
खड़ा आ
fact.
जा, तो वैसे
I
हो
love
गया
the
वो.
fact that Sonny is captain. By the way, okay.
I
I
mean,
was
the
really happy
guy,
about it.
the guy has always been in Kane's shadow, so I am also happy.
And I actually
Again, I'm appreciating Spurs again. I'm becoming a habit now.
But when if that first 3 starts hitting, I believe we are going a lot of places next season. I think the only thing that did not work well
Europe में
was
तो
the
नहीं
front
होगा.
3.
Mm.
अगले साल आएंगे ना भाई, तो तुम लोग जाओगे बाहर. तो So
Okay.
that is the point, I believe. So basically, I think that it was a good match. It was a proper battle between a counter-attacking team and a possession-based team. But yeah, I think because of how this was played, because they were playing two center. They were playing two center. Even the left backs and right backs were in the midfield, so they are leaving a lot of space on the wings, which Brentford was attacking a lot. So that is where it needs to be focused on, that who will cover those spots, because relying on just two defenders might not be the way to go, because the long balls were causing a lot of problem in that match.
So yeah, Brentford is actually pretty physical team. I guess yeah, I understand that under Ange, new manager bounce and all that, you would feel that it's a I mean it's 2 points lost than 1 point gained, I suppose. But yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next blockbuster game, of course, Chelsea versus Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. So guys, I mean.
Let's just call it the Caicedo and Lavia game, shall we?
Don't.
But both are going to
Both-
single team, no? Then what's the Liverpool case?
Both are being taken up
Is
by.
Caicedo,
you can
Lavia,
come
and
see
Liverpool
though.
game. We had one of our most frustrating weekend, man. Seriously. Friday, we were ecstatic then that we are bidding for Caicedo. Friday evening or even Friday night, Saturday morning, completely heartbroken in the fact that completely jazbaat badal diye wala system.
Right.
And from that particular point, like once Chelsea decided that they were going to outbid, I have obviously held hope, but Caicedo didn't want to come, and that was going to happen later than sooner than later. So with that kept in mind, I went into the game thinking, and I think a lot of Liverpool players went in the game thinking like with revenge in point. I mean, it doesn't matter, but still, like there's this fire in your mind, and that's what we expected from the team. And honestly, when the game started, that's how it felt. We for the first 15 to 20 minutes, I think Liverpool were all over Chelsea. And our first goal came with a really beautiful passage of play from back to front, like Allison to Soboslai to like I think it went to Konate, then it went to a Mac, and from Mac to it went to Salah, and what a pass.
Well, the
to
second
Diaz.
goal was
And-
ruled out, right?
And second goal was ruled out. That is fine, as Salah couldn't score on his consecutive 7th start of the season.
Yeah, man.
That
Or-
guy
or
is-
first
man,
time-
he-
record got
He
broken,
has not
right?
scored for first time for Liverpool in
This is
the
the first
opening
time, I
opening
think,
weekend.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. This is the first season he has not scored in the opening
Yeah, sign
weekend.
of things to come. How Salah
Yeah,
will
yeah.
end up in the
And
player of the year
what
chart.
did I see in the
Yeah.
stats that you just had one shot on target last
I
match?
have so many things to say. That's why I'm going to go there, because this is the best part of our team.
Is this supposed to be how football needs to be played according to Klopp?
Klopp needs to be asked this question.
Put back
So
the headphone, dude. Put back the headphone. Don't take it out. See, we did not have a good match, okay? I came out from the match quite disappointed, quite honestly, because those 20 minutes, best football that we played, and after that, Chelsea came back into the game. By the way, Enzo, what a player, dude.
Right.
What is that control?
That is what
In
Manish
the
said.
midfield,
That is
he was
exactly
like, I'm
what
going to
Manish had said in the last episode. Do
Yeah,
not
I mean,
discredit Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
I'm not discrediting Chelsea, but I
You
will.
did.
But
like,
also there's
I did, obviously, and I still don't think that Chelsea is as good as a team, as good as a team as ours. Okay, but the way we played, actually, that it was more of more our fault than how good Chelsea were. But still, Chelsea were really good. I actually want to just name call some of the people. Enzo was fantastic in the midfield. I'll come back to my team, but I just want to name call some of the Chelsea players. Okay, Gallagher, what was he defending? I don't even know. Reece James, I think they were trying to do something which I don't know why we were not coping very nicely with that. Robertson has this tendency to go up, which is tactically our game plan. But when we are going back, what we used to do traditionally is that whenever we are defending, Robertson would have help, which used to be from our midfield. And our midfield this time was Mac was playing at 6, Gapco and Soboslai were playing ahead. So Gapco is not a really good defender. Not defender in a sense is not
Tracking
that
back
big
and-
of a
yeah.
in tracking back. He's not that good. So Robertson was being alone quite a lot of time, and James and Sterling consistently they were pinging ball
I
between each
agree.
other and creating
And what
chances.
about your player of the season pick, Darwin Nunez?
Oh, Darwin
What a
Nunez.
beautiful
He didn't
first
even
touches
start.
he
Darwin
has, man.
Nunez had a fantastic opportunity to score, which he did not. I'm
He
totally
tried.
cool with
Yeah,
that.
that's why I asked
That
you
is
that.
He
that
is
is completely
Romelu
fine.
Lukaku level.
But
He could have won. He could have won you the match.
But man,
Like,
Yeah, I could have won it that
one
match, yeah.
curler that he tried, I really liked that one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I agree. But I have a
See,
very important question.
yeah.
Now, when I look at your midfield, right, I saw
Hmm.
McAllister, I saw
Hmm.
Soboslai,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And at times I was seeing Gakpo somewhere in the middle, you know,
Hmm.
Clueless.
what was
That's the
happening?
problem. See, that's the problem. Gapco is not a midfielder, man, right? Like, we played him because we did not have anybody else. That guy is really good at the like last
Midfielder
last
oh,
खरीदते
they
season.
were
midfielder
thinking
नहीं
of
हो रहा
playing
इनके पास.
Casado there. Now
Yeah,
that's why they are
exactly.
going
Not
for
Oh,
him.
bhai,
Casado.
hitting
Oh,
We
it
were
where it
thinking of
hurts.
playing Lavia there,
yes,
which
हाँ,
we're not
Lavia
going
and
to get now,
Casado.
by the
यही
way.
तो plan था. लेकिन अभी वो
अभी वो
Like
चोपा
this,
देके
this is
चला
a,
गया.
this is quite
I
honestly,
actually,
is a mess that we have to figure out.
because
I don't know what we're going to
I
do.
looked at it. McAllister also played really well,
But it's not
but
his position, man. We're going to waste him at that particular position.
So
no.
did Trent also came in midfield again in this season as well?
Not that much. No,
not
no,
that
not
much.
that
Yeah.
much.
Maybe that would have helped a little.
No, defensively we would have been that would have
You did
created
not have a
goals actually.
single midfielder who was a ball winner, proper.
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly,
McAllister
exactly.
did win a few, but you didn't
But
have.
he was the only guy. He was the only guy. See, Soboslai, by the way, good things from our side is like in our preseason, our defense looked really shaky, but in the game, our defense was pretty good. Like Van Dijk and Konate were doing fantastic job. Okay, Robertson, obviously he was exposed a lot. Trent, no matter what you say, he like people basically like to point at him a lot, and everybody makes one or two mistakes in the game, but he was for most part was really good in his defensive duty as well. So defensively, we were good. But the problem that we had in the last season, which was that our midfield was not doing its job, is still there. And we need a number six to solve that.
No,
But still,
the problem
Soboslai,
is
by the
that
way,
if your midfield is not good enough, I mean, especially the CDM role, right? If your midfield is not filled up, the ones that you're chasing in the market, Lavias or the Casidos, then your defense is going to have to answer a lot of questions than they do not have to.
exactly.
So once that
Somebody
number
needs to
6
cut
is
the
addressed,
transitions, man. You know, nobody's cutting the transitions.
so
And that is our issue currently.
I feel Reece James also had a brilliant game because he was made to look like a legend there, Roberto Carlos or whatever, because I feel he was afforded acres of
Too much
space.
space.
He
Too much
was
space.
given he was giving
Dude,
so many
I
beautiful
couldn't
balls.
understand that why we are not tracking. I
No,
had no
and
idea why we were not tracking
also
him.
because he
And
had the captain's arm and he
yeah,
took a lot of responsibility. He was not like giving any
and
passes away. He
you
was really
guys
meaning business.
and
Dude,
Liverpool
you know,
themselves should
you
be
can say
aware of
that,
this
but he's
particular thing.
right. He's right.
Yeah.
You know, he was made to look a lot better than he actually generally plays. He had so
It's
much time. He had so
it's
much
all part
space.
of the tactics. See, like
Yeah, obviously.
we
But
can talk about Liverpool, but we should also take the other way around, like what Chelsea
yeah.
did.
So,
Mhm.
I think
This was the
I
best chance
think
Chelsea had to win
Hmm.
because when the reverse fixture happens at Anfield, I think Liverpool will be much stronger.
oh yeah,
Much stronger.
And the
100%.
and at Anfield there's no match.
you will never
So
walk alone, bro.
Chelsea should have won this game, and they
I
also
feel
had a
yes.
good chances there.
at the
Correct
end,
judgment.
at the
No.
end they have a good
Our
Mudrik,
possession
Mudrik
was
at
so
the end
bad.
had a very good chance. I don't know.
Yeah,
I picked him for one of the bright young prospects for the season. He did most of the things right in that chance, just for the last bit.
And I
So
think
he has to improve on that.
Chelsea still have the same problem this year, like the finishing problem. I think they were playing that youngster, right? What's the name? Jackson.
$1 billion
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
Action
so-
Jackson. He's all
Yeah.
Action Jackson.
But yeah, he was getting blocked. Like the same problem with Chelsea that has been, right? They don't
our
have
defense was
somebody
really
who
good, by the
convert.
way. Our
Yeah,
defenders did a fantastic job.
But-
Yeah, I mean,
I-
I feel that Jackson guy is top because he is basically an elite version of Tammy Abraham. I guess I was looking at him and thinking that tall frame and African guy, matlab, guarding that number 9 position. So the Mourinho kind of a guy, right?
Yeah,
So he's probably the same profile, but he's elite in terms of the way he takes the first touch, turns, and then takes the ball away and runs into the box, right? So I really like that guy, man. I mean,
I think once
proper
he
guy.
gets converted, once he become better throughout the season,
Yeah.
that is the only gap I thought in Chelsea's game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. That we should not be looking down on Tammy, because Tammy scored almost 20 goals in the Premier League. All right, just like Tammy could not probably run as fast as this guy, and he used to fumble with his legs, but he scored 20 goals in the league. Until Jackson makes that mark, I know it's a little too early to call like that.
No,
Second,
By the
we are
way,
just saying
since we are
we
talking
like what
also,
we
I
see
think we should.
basically.
Yeah.
हाँ
Sorry.
लिवरपूल भी अच्छा
and la-
खेली.
No,
and
no, no. Since we are talking, I also want to mention Colwell, man. He was pretty good as well.
now, I also want to ask one more thing. There were two players who were actually causing problems for Chelsea, and they did score goals as well, Luis Diaz and Salah. And Mr. Klopp decided to, get them substituted at the
Substituted.
70th
And
minute.
I know everybody hates it, and I know even I was surprised. But the way that we were playing in the second half, Klopp decided, in a sense, from just making an assumption based on the game, the way it was going, they were getting too less of a ball first of all. And Salah, it seems like I did not notice that, and I feel like Salah is fit, but still Salah seemed a little bit tired in that particular position after
Bro,
some
he
time.
seemed so pissed though when he
He
was
was
coming
pissed.
off. He
Dude,
was so
you
pissed.
you take him out at 89 minutes and he'll still be pissed. That's who Salah is, man.
Okay.
Okay,
That's what
so
every goddamn attacker is actually.
yeah, that's how that's,
See, if
that's
he is
how
committed,
everybody
if
is.
a
You
player is
know, you could
committed
be
to the
humble as
match,
well.
he
By
will
the way,
be.
on that note, when we actually made the change, we had a really good set of plays when Jones and Dope came in. I don't. They did not make too
Elliot,
much of
Harvey
a.
Elliot, right?
Harvey Jones also came in, I think.
Curtis
Uh,
Jones
Curtis
Jones
Jones
also
and
also
came
came
in.
Harvey
in.
Elliot.
Curtis,
Elliot
yeah.
also came,
Elliot
and
also
then
came in,
Duvak came.
and Dog also came in. So when they were on the field, right? At least we had a little bit more ball. We did not create. I won't say we created too much, but still, at least we had a lot more ball on the attacking third.
So
But yeah,
to
it
be
was a
honest,
disappointing game, man,
it was
honestly.
a
It was a
proper
disappointing game.
midfield battle, man. Two
Yeah.
powerhouses. There is a reason actually, if I'm not wrong, the last 7 matches in regulation time between Chelsea and Liverpool have been draws, either
Yeah,
0-0
we
or
just
1-1.
always draw, man.
Yeah, it is always draw. So it
This,
also shows you how two teams are that competitive, and games are basically won or lost in midfield, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it is a proper heavyweight battle between two midfields who just did not want to start the season with a loss. To be
Also,
honest,
there are
yeah.
actually
I
some
would
of
I
the
would say
factors that I actually want to just
uh,
say it. Yeah. Do you want to
I
go? You
just
can go.
wanted to
Yeah.
say that he was talking about midfield, but the way they played, it seemed that Chelsea's midfield was far superior. Just the way they played, because of the time that was afforded to Enzo. Because Enzo made great passes without a doubt. He played amazing and whatnot, but he was afforded enough time to make those passes as well. Secondly, Gallagher was also made to look really nice, because a lot of matches, if you see Gallagher, he's not that good. So somewhere out, down the line, I think Liverpool's midfield did not have enough bite, which actually made Chelsea's midfield look so good and
Correct.
dictate the game.
Man,
Hey,
do you think
Now
Gallagher?
Taisazul
I
will
actually want to
also
say
come,
something
no?
on that, So we are focusing too much on the midfield. It was a little bigger than that. The problem with us is that with us for the whole game
Okay.
was that our passing in transitions. Whenever we have had the ball, also our passing from Gakpo's side was not exactly that good. So we would lose the ball where we shouldn't have lost the ball. The midfield was looking better than it was because we were losing ball where we shouldn't have. The intricate passing was still not there. I think in the start of the in the towards the end of the first half and at the start of the second half, like we were passing like nothing, and that was frustrating to
Okay,
see because we are supposed to be better at that.
I guess first game of the season, and I am pretty sure you guys, just like me, I guess you guys know, you guys are aware of what happened in that United versus Wolves game.
Yeah.
Everybody is somehow somewhere disappointed with what they've seen, and fair enough. I mean, we are at least pointing out the things that are always room for improvement in the future games. Uh, yeah, so this brings about the conclusion of the match reviews from Game Week 1, guys. Hope you let us know in the comments what did you make of our opinions from the game, and if you would like to add your takeaways from those games, and let us know what's your take on that. What do you make of those key decisions? Bye.
Okay. Bye.